Alright, hey there guys. So, I got a question from Bubbles5610, I believe that's his username, about GUIs. Now, he made a GUI that represents tickets and something that was like you buy one ticket and it goes up on your screen. But the issue he was having was when you resized your screen, some of the GUIs stayed and some of them changed. Now, I'm not entirely sure because I haven't actually seen what it is, but my best bet on what it is going to be that he used a mix of offset and scale. So if you got this video, as you guys can tell by the title, is going to be explaining what offset and scale is. Offset and scale are found both in positioning and in size. So first things first, what is offset and positioning? Offset and scale, I mean. When you're using offset, all you're really doing is taking the origin, which is going to be 0, 0, 0, 0 at the top left of your screen, which is the origin, and moving it by a certain amount of pixels across your screen. It's basically how many pixels over you're moving it. You want to move, say we make it to 100 by 100. 100 pixels over, 100 pixels down. As simple as that. Now, the only issue with this is to say you have to make it so that it's say like 400 and then 400. Now, in the case someone has a really smaller screen or a window, you can get something like this. It's off their screen. Let's say someone who has a bigger screen, they can see it. So that's when it's best to do something with scale. Now, I'm not saying you can't use offset. Offset does work. It's just generally recommended if you're only using it around the top left area to like the midsections, and you don't get too like overkill with it. When you're using scale and offset can be any number you want. It can be negative infinity to positive infinity. It really doesn't matter what number you're putting it at. Now scale. Scale goes based on a number of -1 to 1, I should say. -1 being completely off the screen, 1 being off the screen. On the screen is a scale from 0 to 1. Basically, it's like your percentage of the screen. So 0% to 1, which is represented as 100% across the screen. I'm trying to make that reference. Alright, so say you make it 0.5. That's 50%, 50% across the screen. Now, no, it doesn't move it from the center. It moves it from the far left side. You have to keep that in mind when positioning stuff. So you can get it into the center if you're trying to, at least. This works on both axis X and Y. So with x-axis, I'm sure you guys already know, which is up and down. So say you want to make it go down. The good thing about this is, say I resize my screen and make it bigger by removing some stuff, it's still in the right spot. Whereas say I make it based on offset, let's go ahead and do that. Go ahead and move my offset of X to, let's see, 200. Yeah, let's make it 400. Alright. So see how it's right here, right? Now, say we were to add something to our screen. Just give me a toolbox. See how it's moved over? That can run into an issue here and there if you're trying to develop a game using positioning and offset. So that's why it's usually recommended to use scale if you have something that you want to use singularly across all types of computers and computer screens to make sure it looks neat. Not neat, more so is decent and doesn't move around. Now let's go ahead and change it to scale. If we go ahead and change it to scale, it stays in the same position. Alright, same thing for size, basically. With size, it's exactly what you think it is. You're just changing the size. But as I was saying before, it's the same concept with the scales. So when you're working with size, this is obviously how many pixels wide. So we want to make it 100 pixels. This is 100 individual pixels by, say, 25. 100 by 25 pixels. So that's if you're setting an individual amount of pixels. Now say you want to make it a percentage of the screen, or a specific amount that you want to get. You can make it half of the screen by half of the screen. Now watch. If we go back to make this 0, this is a fifth of the way across and a fifth of the way down, taking up a fourth of the screen. Now watch. Say we make it 1. Takes up the entire screen. So now we have half the screen covered. The only issue with this is that you can get into some like really long decimals if you're getting more precise. So that can be an issue for some people. Otherwise, it's pretty good once you can manage to get a hang of it. It helps to know well, a lot of things, but if you're trying to combine them, you can run into some issues if people are resizing their screens. So you're going to want to be careful about that if you're going to combine them. So that ends this video. There wasn't much to explain, but I hope this answered any questions you guys had about scale and offset within the positioning and sizing of GUIs. Please note, this isn't solely just used in text boxes. This is also within frames, scrolling frames, image buttons, image labels, text buttons. It's also used within billboard GUIs. Pretty much in everything GUI related, I guess I should say. So, as I said, I hope that answered your questions. If this did answer your questions, leave a thumbs up. Comment down below if there's anything I left unanswered and you still have questions for. I'll try to answer that as quick as possible. So, if you're not already subscribed, please check out my channel. I make videos like this. I explain things here and there that people are confused on. I do a lot of basic videos, trying to get people to know the fundamentals before moving on to more advanced stuff. So, as I said, thanks for watching. Hope you have a good day. Happy